Konnichiwa! CEX, or Computer Exchange, is one of the largest online and physical retailers of second-hand games in the whole of the UK. Given how big CEX is for second-hand gaming, I thought I'd try my luck and see how much they would give me for my entire 262 game collection for the Sega Mega Drive. So, I've got my phone and we're going to get scanning all of those games. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. Hey, welcome back to the show, and if you feel like it, you can subscribe to the channel by clicking on a little button just below this video. Now, CEX is the largest retailer for second-hand games and electronics in the UK. And their gaming stock predominantly covers current generation games, so PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, as well as previous generations like the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, Wii, Wii U, and you can even find PS2 and PSP games there. Now, CEX hasn't had such a great rep lately, but back in the early to mid 2000s, CEX, or Computer Exchange, was a haven for retro video games. It was the store to go to get your 8-bit and 16-bit games. In fact, when I worked at PlayStation's London studio, I used to go down daily to CEX to check out their huge catalogue of Mega Drive and Master System games. The basement of the London Computer Exchange was just full of 16-bit and 8-bit games. Everything from the NES, Super NES, Mega Drive, Master System, all of the Gen 2 consoles there. They had a glass wall that was just full of rare and unique retro gaming consoles. It was just one of the best places to hang out and get your games. But as time went on, they got rid of all that awesome retro gaming and replaced it with current gen consoles and maybe the previous generation as well. But over the last 2 years, they've started to go back to their roots. Not in a big way, but you can go into a CEX now and find the odd SNES, Mega Drive, Master System game sitting behind the glass wall or on a shelf somewhere. And given that they're going back to their retro gaming roots, I thought I'd grab their app and scan in this entire collection here to see how much CEX would give me in cash, trade-in, and how much they make on every game. Let's get scanning. This is the CEX app, and all we're going to do is hit scan and then go to the barcode and scan all the barcodes in for this huge collection of Mega Drive games. Okay, so I'm about quarter of a way in, and one thing is apparent: they do not buy sports games. There's maybe one or two exceptions, but they won't touch them pretty much at all, and I don't blame them. Not many people want to buy the sports games on the Sega Mega Drive unless you're going to go for a full collection like I am. One game though that I was surprised by that they don't take is Jungle Strike. Now, they take Desert Strike and Urban Strike, but Jungle Strike isn't in their catalogue. I think we found one of our best deals that you can get at CEX. CEX are selling a boxed copy of Comic Zone for £25. That's about $36. Now, this goes for between $50 and $60 on eBay. Now, if you're a seller and you want to sell Comic Zone to CEX, they'll give you £11. That's about $16 in cash for it. Or you can exchange it and get $14 in trade back. That's about $20 you'll get in trade back. So not great for sellers, brilliant for buyers. We have our first hugely overpriced game, the Menacer 6-game pack. Now, this sells for like, I don't know, £6, $10 here in the UK on eBay. They're selling it for £35, about $45. Now, the only thing I can think of is that they've made a mistake and are expecting this to come bundled with the Menacer gun, because there's no way this game is worth £35 or $45. So I finally finished scanning in the entirety of my Mega Drive collection, 262 games. And it took just over 2 hours to do the whole collection. Now I've got my laptop here with all my stats. Now I love stats, especially about my games collection. And we're going to check out CEX's stats when it comes to this massive collection. So we'll get to how much CEX will give me in cash, trade, and how much they will make on it later on. But I just wanted to touch on some interesting things first. The first is that on average across this entire collection, CEX are making about a 400% profit on every game that they're selling. And that's average out across the collection. The game that will make me the most money in cash is Alien Soldier. About £97 or $126 is what they'll give me. Now if you're a seller, that's pretty terrible because this game goes for an average of £300, about $400 odd on eBay. But if you're a buyer, it's £150, $195, which is awesome. Now one thing to note is that CEX do not take photographs of the games that you're buying. So you are buying blind. And with the pricing, they have boxed, unboxed, and mint. But there's no definition of mint. Does mint have the booklet in it? Is it just a good condition game? And so all the pricing that I've done here is for their boxed version of the game. So it probably doesn't have a manual in there, but you'll guarantee it's boxed. And CEX don't necessarily have a great reputation when it comes to some of the quality of the games that they send out. It could be that you spend £150, $195 on Alien Soldier and it's absolutely trashed but boxed. Now the largest profit margin that CEX will make on my games collection is going to be on Wrestle War. They make a 750% profit on the game. Now whilst the profit margin is high, the amount of money they actually make is small. They'll give you 40p, 50 cents for this game, and they'll sell it for £3 or $4. So still not a lot of money, but a huge markup on the game. Now of my collection, the 262 games, they will only take 157. The majority of the games that they won't take are sport games. But there are a few games that I was surprised that they wouldn't even consider. There are a number of EA games they just wouldn't take. Powermonger, an absolute classic, wouldn't make it into their store. Lethal Enforcers with the gun. Now this goes for over $200 on eBay. They're not willing to take that. And there are games where they'll take the sequel, but they won't take the original game that kicked off the series. Games like Lotus Challenge they won't touch, but Lotus Rex 2 they will gladly take off your hands. So the big question, how much will CEX Computer Exchange give me for the huge retro Mega Drive gaming collection that I have? Well, we've already established that if you're a seller, you're not going to make it big here at all. They offer nowhere near the prices that you can find on eBay, and they definitely don't reflect the huge price jumps that we've seen in 2020 for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. In fact, they'll only give me just over £1,000. That's $1,300 for the entire collection. Well, 157 games, excluding sports and racing games. Now they do offer credit, store credit, so we can trade in the entire collection and then use credit to buy other stuff within the store. And here they're going to give us £1,400. That's about $1,800, which is a little better. But how much will CEX sell my collection for? Well, they'll sell my collection for £2,554. That's about $3,320. And they'll make a profit margin of about 250% on that collection. So I think it's clear from that if I was ever to sell my Sega Mega Drive collection, I definitely wouldn't go to CEX. They just don't offer anywhere near the market value for the current Genesis and Mega Drive games that are out there. But if you're a buyer, then you potentially may want to consider it. And I say potentially, because if you buy online, the chance of you getting what you expect to get is probably quite slim. They don't put pictures of the game that you're buying up on their store. They just use generic stock art. And CEX are renowned for making print-offs of front covers and then selling them on. Again, if you're a collector of a classic retro video game, the last thing you want to do is find out that your new game that you've just spent $20, $30 on has got a printed off front cover. Now, not all retro games are cheaper. In fact, some, especially at the higher end, are well overpriced. When I started seeing these games come in cheaper, the first thing I looked up was Pirates of Darkwater. Now that game goes for about £600. I think it's about like $800. And on their store, they're selling it for about £750. I don't know what that is in dollars, what, $1,000 they're selling the game for? So in that case, definitely not a great bargain for buyers. That's it for this week's show. If you've enjoyed this, then why not consider subscribing by clicking on my little pixel head below. And we put out new episodes every Monday, and you can get notified as soon as they're out by clicking on the bell just below this video here. And if you can't wait until Monday, then don't worry, we've got a huge back catalogue of retro video games for you to enjoy, 2 of which you can find over here.